we wouldn't be able to live and breathe, and we wouldn't get to experience what we get to experience without nature. Hello and welcome to another video on Samayan 7 Sanctuary. My name is Samayan and I create these videos to help people connect with their truth and the hidden truths of the world. In this next video, I'm going to be talking about why you should spend more time in nature. And nature is something that we all intuitively love. And some of us aren't really sure why we seem to love nature. I think the obvious reason why most of us intuitively feel like we enjoy spending time in nature is because really nature is what allows us to live on this earth. And nature essentially keeps the ecosystem alive. And without nature, nothing would work. We wouldn't be able to live and breathe, and we wouldn't get to experience what we get to experience without nature. So if nature wasn't here, then the planet wouldn't be here and we wouldn't be here either. So the word originally comes from the Latin word nat, and that literally means being born, and also natura, which means birth. And when you think about that, the connections with nature and those words specifically, nature allows birth to happen. It allows us to be born into this planet. And without it, we wouldn't be able to live and thrive in the way that we do. And this planet wouldn't be able to thrive in the way that it does. If nature wasn't a part of it, then we wouldn't have animals to keep the ecosystem alive and nothing would work. And when you look at nature, there's so many similarities with some of the trees and the patterns that you find amongst nature. And when you compare them with our own bodies and other things in nature, and when you see them, things make more sense why we feel so connected to nature and why some of us feel drawn to just spending time in nature, because it's a part of us in some way or another. And some people enjoy spending time in nature more than others. I never really used to enjoy it too much, but now I love it. I try to spend as much time in nature as I can now. And it's just one of those things. Some people are more in touch with their spirituality, others aren't. But those things are a part of our being. And the people that aren't as well connected to nature or other things, that's just through their own life circumstances. But there's no denying of what we really are and where we came from and what provides the life for us on this earth, and that's nature. And that's why it's such a big deal now, why so many people are speaking about global warming and why so much effort is being put towards kind of stopping it and combating that, because we all know how important nature is and how we should protect it as it allows us to live. So if you don't get the chance to spend much time in nature, then try and remember the last time that you did. I'm sure you can remember the last time you spent in nature. It's usually a memorable experience for most people. And when you remember that, try and remember the feelings that you felt when you were in nature. And a lot of people will report the same thing. I think you will find it extremely hard to find people that spend time in nature and come back and say that they felt really stressed or they felt angry and they were generally in a worse place than what they were before they spent time in nature. And obviously you're going to get those people that don't enjoy being in nature. But for the majority of people, nature has this calming feeling about it. It has this calming energy about it. And especially when you're around trees and surrounded by trees and you look up and there's just leaves and greenness all around you, the energy that you feel is so soothing, and it's just like you can feel these trees in a certain way. And I'm not going to get too hippie into it, but there's a reason that people like hugging trees. Trees are the lungs of the earth, and trees also have this super powerful energy that goes with them. And there's a reason why when we're surrounded by them, we have this sense of calmness and we have this sense of just feeling safe and connected to nature like we should do. And just because we can't directly communicate with trees, on a subconscious level, they're communicating with us in a certain way. They're communicating through an energetic way. And their energy is surrounding us and entering our beings, whether we're aware of it or we're not. And as nature is what allows us to live and breathe on this planet, it only makes sense that these feelings come over us, because it allows us to return to our natural state of being. And our natural state of being is without all these daily struggles and these stresses and these worries that we experience and that we create for ourselves. We're not designed to live in a state of fear. We're designed and we're supposed to live in a natural state of being at peace and being in harmony with everything around us. And some of the most beautiful places that you'll see on this earth are nature. They're things that are naturally occurring. And for sure, you can get a nice bag, or you can get a nice car, nice watch, nice clothes. But when you see a mountain view backdrop at heights where you can see across the whole land, nothing really compares to that. Nothing really compares to that natural beauty. And that's another reason why we're subconsciously, consciously or subconsciously, connected and intuitively feel that connection towards nature. Because it's a part of us. We know it's a part of us on a deeper level. And so many of us don't spend enough time in nature. And I was guilty of that myself. And this past year, I've made such a conscious effort to spend more time in nature. And every time that I spend time in nature now, it just seems to reconnect me and recharge me. And I feel so refreshed just even after spending 20 minutes just walking around under the trees, or just sitting there in the same space, but just fully taking it in and just connecting with what's around me, away from the technology, away from the distraction, and really just being in that moment. And so many of us could benefit from that. And obviously it's hard to get away from technology these days, as we're living in a technological world, and it's only going to get more advanced, and technology is only going to be there even more. But we can still find these moments in time where we can just disconnect and essentially unplug from the system, or the matrix, if you want to call it that, and just allow ourselves to be in our natural state and in our natural surroundings of where we really came from. We came from this earth. We were born into this earth, and without nature, that wouldn't have been able to happen. And so many of us forget about that. So if you are feeling disconnected or unsettled or just a little bit anxious, try and find a place where you can spend 20 minutes in nature or surrounded by nature, and I guarantee it will make you feel better than what you did before. And if you say you can't be bothered, then that's exactly why you should, because it will allow you to feel refreshed and recharged. And I guarantee you'll feel in a better place afterwards. We all need to connect more with nature. We all need to connect more with our roots and the planet as a whole. We need to remind ourselves of what really matters in our lives, and away from the daily distractions that we've surrounded ourselves in, and through no fault of our own. But it's time to remember what life is really about and what really matters to us on a deeper level. So if you do go and spend time in nature after watching this video, then let me know how you feel afterwards. And who knows, it might get you out of that rut that you've been in for the last few days or however long, and it might spark some new inspiration. It might allow yourself to connect with your true self and connect with the world again, and allow your being to return to its natural state, and hopefully bring more happiness and peace into your life. So that's it for this video. I hope this got you thinking about why nature is so important to us, and why it should be a part of our lives, and why we should stop neglecting it as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.